All right, here's a random weekend video. Hadn't really planned on doing one, but I had a question in our Discord group, and it was a good question. It was about the unemployment and what's called the, SAM rule, SAHM. So let's look at that first, because I was studying up on it. I hadn't really heard of that before, but I know there are things out there that do indicate whether there's a recession happening or unemployment, stuff like that. I've been watching for unemployment to go up along with a rate cut. Usually that's the two indicators for me that within a month we could see a pretty big dip in the market. I don't think it's here yet, but again, nobody knows for sure. And anybody that tells you they do is a liar, and they probably delete posts just to make sure that they look right in the future. So just be careful of somebody that says they know everything, because they don't. Okay, so this is from FX Evolution. He mentioned that the SAM rule triggered on Friday, and it has a 100% track record of calling recessions. However, Claudia Sam, which is the inventor of this rule, has said that the current measure isn't indicating a recession just yet. I believe that's what it says. She doesn't think the current measure is indicating a recession yet. And her statement to that effect is the SAM rule is likely overstating the labor market's weakening due to unusual shifts in labor supply caused by the pandemic and immigration. And yeah, I guess I could see that point. But we can see in the past too, it's pretty obvious. Now, even when this thing does kick off, it's not the top of the market immediately. It usually happens within a month or two of the indicator finding it. So it hasn't really started yet. I think I'm trying to remember how it goes exactly, what the rule actually states. Let me see if that member posted it in here for me. Yeah, here it is right here. So the SAM rule, and I hope I'm saying it right. I hope I'm not butchering the name. It's a recession forecast which was caught by algorithms on the market and also the largest banks. However, it looks like it was heavily manipulated and even deliberately introduced this panic with this indicator. 23% market drop yesterday. Recession, sell shares. Oh yeah, this is actually the commentary of the member that I was talking about. I saw it somewhere what the SAM rule meant. It had something to do with if the unemployment went up 0.04. If it went up 0.04 at a certain time, then it was 100% accurate. But anyway, I think the most important takeaway is here that the person that actually created this indicator is stating that there's really not enough evidence just yet, so we can't make an accurate forecast if this is going to happen right away or not. Anytime, I don't think I have this up right now, but let me bring up the presidential chart. I've showed this multiple times. I created this back in 2022, I believe. And so far, same as it was back here. It makes me think of that song, Same as It Ever Was. From 2015, somewhere right around 2017, that trend line happened. And then this one from 2018 to 2020, that trend line held. There was that black swan event, but for the most part it held. And that's why I had this little squiggly line here, is because if it's going to all happen the same way it did before, then this line should be respected. Yeah, it could dip under it. I don't think it will, because we've mostly gone sideways for a while. But I do think there is a good chance it'll come back down and touch it. So if we lose 56K, and I'll show you that here, this area right here, it's more like a zone. This zone kind of right in here. Yeah, so just under 56K all the way up to 57.5 or so. If we lose this area, then you can see that we would at least come down to here, and there's an outside chance that we could even come down to 44, 48, something like that. Even 41K. So if we go back to let's just see if that makes sense here. Yeah, 45 to 50 maybe even 51 makes sense if it was gonna. I mean, the thing is, the longer it goes sideways, the less it has to go down. But the quicker it goes down, usually the faster it recovers. Like right here, you know, it had a quick recovery. Here, it mostly just went sideways and chopped for many months. And here, so far, it's chopped for many months. But once we hit the U.S. presidential election, usually what happens is we have that pump, you know, at least within a few weeks after it. I think that's right. Let's see, this one happened right on it. This one took a couple of weeks for it to really get going. And it actually took about 5 weeks. So I would say, you know, 1 to 5, 6 weeks, you know, it could take off. Currently, the fear-greed index is kind of right in the middle. I haven't looked it up for real, but this is the Krypton fear-greed index. And same thing happens, you know, each time between the halving and the U.S. presidential election during presidential election years. I didn't even check to see if this thing's recording. I sure hope it is. Yeah, okay. And then here, this one got right down. I mean, basically, we're in the same exact spot as we were in 2015. And I've always kind of felt like this looked more like 2015 than anything else. I mean, look at that structure right there from the bottom. Kind of looks similar anyway, doesn't it? But things were much more volatile back then. You know, this was more of a tame, slower move. So this one could take longer. I don't know. Could take longer to play out. So let's see, we talked about that. I mean, I had posted a thing in a video and I can't find it, but I had posted a thing where I was talking about what would make the most sense to me as far as a structure. And so you got like a shoulder there, you got somewhat of a head, and then you got another shoulder. And usually what happens is it breaks down. I mean, it could come back up and retest this first, but usually it breaks down out of that and then makes a falling wedge. And then eventually you know, make your way back up. So it really just depends on how quick it goes down. You know, maybe it goes sideways longer. But there are opportunities in the market still, for the most part. You still have to be careful because if you're playing a lot of meme coins, you know, there's a lot of rugs out there too. And liquidity is, as far as the market goes, liquidity is pretty tight right now. You know, people aren't spending a lot of money because a lot of people didn't sell the top like they should have. Yeah, so we talked about mid-March, actually at the very first of March right here. I was already even on Twitter talking about a top coming, so people had plenty of time to take profits. I know that we added some more to altcoins about right here in our Discord group, so we were trying to make some money then, but basically if you're getting double tops, even if there's ETF news or whatever, don't let the news fool you, you know. Anytime there's euphoric news, it's usually a top. I mean, right here is where Trump was talking about crypto at the crypto conference, at BTC conference. And I said it on Twitter. I said, usually events like this are going to be tops, even if they're temporary. So you have to start thinking in those terms. I mean, you don't even have to show me a chart. You could tell me the news that day, and I can tell you whether it's bullish or not, or whether it's going to be bullish or not within a week or two. Because if it's euphoric, then typically you're going to get a dip, because that's how they manipulate. Think about your mental capacity and how emotions control you. You know, that's what these people are doing. They're manipulating your mind. So if you can strengthen yourself in that regard, then you're going to start selling the top and buying the bottom instead of the other way around. So I think that's all I wanted to say. Let me just make sure this person that was asking me that question isn't saying anything else. Okay. Yeah, so that's it. I probably won't, well, it's the end of the video, so it won't matter, but I'm not going to timestamp this because it's a shorter video. Okay, y'all have a good week.